But there was about a period of my life that I kept bringing people on because I wanted to find out who killed Tupac. So I brought on Freeway Rick Ross. I don't know what it was, probably 10 years ago. I did podcasts 2 times with him. And he came on and we spoke. And your name came up. Because in the lawsuit, he tried to sue you twice. I've never seen somebody try to sue somebody twice. That at the end, is it true that at the end of the lawsuit, he had to pay for your legal fees?
He wasted a lot of people's time. I hope he's coping with the crack addiction that he been dealing with this whole time, and I hope your listeners, I hope you didn't disappoint your listeners listening to that shit. I just hope, man, you gotta maintain a certain level of quality, and you've allowed it to dip.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and this was 2 days ago. You got this fat fraud ass nigga Rick Ross on the Bidet podcast. I think that's how you say it, Bidet, some Armenian nigga. And he I don't know what the fuck the death of Tupac had to do with Rick Ross. Rick Ross is an Oakland legend / drug lord or drug kingpin. I don't know. He was locked up when Tupac was killed, way before Tupac was killed. I don't know what information. I don't know what the two have to do with each other, but yeah, this is why we in the black community see you people as scumbags, because everybody don't need a platform, bro. You give people platforms for no good reason, and they just espouse shit like this that's unfounded, not true. Now Rick Ross was a drug dealer / drug kingpin in the late 80s, early 90s that subsequently was convicted, sentenced to life in prison. Nigga taught himself how to read, learned the legal system, found loopholes that got him the fuck out early. He still ended up doing 28 and 20 I think it was 25 to life. So he basically did the sentence, got out. And he sued this fat nigga Rick Ross, and he sued him for stealing his name and likeness. Now, Rick Ross is in denial, and I ain't talking about the river in Egypt. Says that he didn't steal nothing from him, when clearly, if you see before pictures when Rick Ross was younger, he didn't have the beard like Rick Ross did. His name isn't Rick Ross. His name is, I want to say, something Roberts. Let me see. His real name is William Leonard Roberts II, right? He got a square ass name. So that's not even his real fucking name. So the fact that his name is Rick Ross, after the drug dealer Freeway Ricky Ross, right? Who has more of a likeness to the fucking name? That's all you got to do is like look at the obvious, right? But today's generation, they like fraud ass niggas that rap. They don't care if you a snitch. They don't care if you an informant. They don't care if you a former correctional officer. They just be trying to catch a vibe, right? This is why I don't respect a lot of the younger people nowadays. Had somebody in the comment section talking about, yo, we're all cooked. No, nigga, you cooked. I won't rely on none of these stupid motherfuckers. Hopefully they won't have none of these idiot morons flying planes, trains, or automobiles. So yeah, I'm good on that. I don't have people that are this fucking retarded in my family line, so family lineage, so I don't have to really too much worry about the idiocracy. But yeah, this dude's a fat liar. Now I'm not gonna front, I think I did an episode or two about Rick Ross when he first came out, before we knew he was a CEO. I fucked with Carroll County. I think that was the name of his second album. First two albums was bangers, right? And it wasn't necessarily the fact that he was found out to be a CEO that people stopped fucking with him. It was the fact that when he was questioned about it, he lied blatantly. Like, somebody asks you something and you say no. When we got pictures, my nigga, I guess he's one of these morons that don't think that social media is gonna actually, like, he didn't see it for what it was worth. So he didn't think that people was gonna expose his ass. And as social media grew and more shit got leaked, and his baby mama Tia Kemp put his ass on blast, and when he was exposed, it was kind of a done deal for me, at least, right? For the majority of people, and I'm surmising that most people that still support him after the fact, probably non-black people and white people, right? Once again, like I always say, have the shittiest taste in hip hop, and the white community and non-black community. Well, let me just, before I even go that far, because I gotta throw some Mexicans under the bus. For them, snitching is actually like a common practice. They snitch in prison on black inmates, but don't snitch on white inmates. They have provisions as to who they snitch on, but they some snitch ass rats, so they still support that shit. White people, don't even get me started unless you part of the neo-Nazi or Aryan Brotherhood or some type of stomp down ass white gang set or biker gang. Like, white people notoriously snitch. If you look at crime movies, they lead the league in that shit. The Mob, Boston George, all their greats. Even if you want to count Carlos Letter, I think he was half Colombian, half Irish, white Hispanic. He ratted, or made statements of other drug kingpins, namely, what was his name? Boston George. He snitched on him. All the people in Boston George's case snitched on him. So white people have like a cultural, like, for them, for us it's snitching, for them it's informing the authorities. So when they found out that Rick Ross was a former correctional officer, they was like, hey, he just had a job. Now me, I will honestly say, like, logically looking at it, and not trying to be harsh on him, had he just admitted to it, I would have looked at it as the man just had gainful employment, which is nothing wrong with that. But when you lie and shit and try to fraud like you some shit you not, then I got a problem with you, right? Because, like, I don't like liars. Be who you are. Be the realest version of yourself. When you get found out to be a fucking rat, yeah, I ain't rocking with you, right? Not necessarily that, like I said, not necessarily because he was a former correction officer, because he was in his 20s. He needed employment. He didn't want to be in them streets. But yeah, I stopped fucking with him because they asked him point blank, was he a correctional officer? That's not a hard feat. You should be able to own up to your shit, especially if it's employment based, right? But he couldn't do the simple thing is just be real. So like, he wasn't authentic, so I wasn't fucking with him. So now his fat ass is on there's culture vulture. He's another culture vulture. He's like Vlad and Adam 22. These motherfuckers can't get no traction, or when their views are in the slumps, they always look to black society to see if they can, you know what I'm saying, get some kind of traction from their podcast, right? Because nobody wants to sit and listen to an Armenian man talk about bullshit nobody cares about. So they, every now and again, they got to dip into the black cultural fishing pool and pick up scumbags like Rick Ross and interview him for God knows what purpose. This nigga hasn't released an album, I want to say, in a few years. He's over the age of 50. Nobody's checking for this nigga, and all he does is rap about the shit he got. Nobody give a fuck about. So the fact that he's on here slandering Rick Ross, if I was Rick Ross, I sue his ass again. Now Rick Ross actually has a dispensary, so he got more money. I would actually like sue his ass again, because you're defaming my character. You're calling me a drug addict, and that's not what Free Ricky Ross has ever been known for, to my knowledge. And I keep my ear to the streets. I've never heard nothing old boy smoking bass rock. Not only that, it's 2026. Crack rock don't even sell like that. So the fact that he's on this podcast is making up tall tales. Yeah, I'd sue his ass if I was Rick Ross. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. No.